Hey, what's going on, guys? I know this is a new channel, so we might do a bit of debrief at the end, see how we're doing for time. But for now, what we are going to do is just get right into the story. So for this story, we're going to take it way back to the high school days. I'm going to say grade 12, so we were about 17-year-old kids at the time. There are some characters in this story. We're going to give them some names. We got Derek and Alex. It's me, Derek, and Alex. We're all very good friends throughout high school. Now grade 11 rolls around, and Derek announces that he's going to move away. So we're all pretty sad about that, but the time does come where he has to leave in grade 11. Cut through halfway through grade 12, Derek comes out of nowhere, so he's going to be coming down to visit. So Derek's made really good friends up there, two really good guys that are going to come down with him. One of those friends has a place down in the city here. It's his uncle's house. He's got it for the whole long weekend, so they want to come down and see us. The long weekend rolls around. Derek and his friends start making their way down here. We should give Derek's friends some names too. We're going to go with AJ and Brian. So Derek, AJ, and Brian. Derek had to run some errands on our side of the city, so they come down here. They're going to the mall, hitting the liquor store, whatever. We meet up with them after they're done that. We're very excited to see Derek just chilling in a parking lot. We get acquainted with AJ and Brian very quickly. The plan was to go to AJ's uncle's house, which was kind of halfway across the city, but it wasn't too bad of a drive. It was a little out of the city, but we hit the highway. Me and Alex were in separate cars because, when you're 17 and you basically just get your license, all you want to do is drive your little shitbox around town, and that's exactly what we were doing. Derek had his own car down there, and AJ and Brian were driving together in one car. Cut to a bunch of 17-year-old kids on the highway in their raggedy-ass cars, racing and doing stupid shit. By the way, don't go and do that. Don't race on the highway in 20-year-old cars. It's never a good idea. However, we get to AJ's uncle's place without incident. So we pull up to this place, get inside, get settled. We're loaded up on alcohol and bud, put everything in the fridge, get a couple cases to start going, and then we just kick back. Got a very nice setup in this place. Living room's huge, nice TV. Couches are so comfortable in there, so we're all just hanging out, telling stories, just shooting the shit. After a few hours of doing that, it's getting later into the evening now, more into the night. Brian stands up, takes a bag of pills out, and throws it on the table. We all look at him, we're like, what's that? He goes on to explain to us that it's a high milligram prescription of Xanax, and asks us if we're all down to take some. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Xanax and alcohol, that's one of the worst combos out there. Very well known, it's not a good combo. Shit happens when you mix those two things together. But when you're 17 and you're drunk, you do stupid stuff. So we all take a bar, one full bar. Usually when you start something like this, you take half a bar, ease into it, see how it goes, whatever. None of us had ever done this before, except Brian, the guy walking around with a huge bag of it, obviously. So we all take one bar, then kind of just resume what we were doing. We're drinking and smoking on top of it like a bunch of idiots. 20 or so more minutes go by, and Brian has the idea, since we've been sitting around for a while, that we should go out, go for a walk. We're all down for that. The area that this kid lives in is pretty nice and quiet, out of the city. There's a park not too far away from where he lives, so we're all like, yeah, let's go. Now, as we're leaving, Brian pops another bar in his mouth, offers us if we want another one. We're okay, we just started this. We kind of want to see what happens first, how it goes. Maybe later on in the night we'll take another. That's what we say. Derek says fuck it, takes half of another one, so Derek takes 1.5 and Brian's on 2. Then we set off on our journey. We get out and start walking. It's really nice out. It's that nice dusk effect. The sun is just going down. We go on our way. We start heading towards the park. Another 20 or so minutes go by, 20, 30 minutes. And by this point, it's starting to feel a little bit, definitely. Everyone's kind of loopy. Me and Alex are just laughing. We get to this park. There's a bit of a mini playground on this park, and Brian just starts climbing on shit. He's just fucking around, and there's a railing in the middle of the park, like a beam that you can walk across. Of course, Brian steps on it, starts trying to walk across it. We're all just watching him. And this one last step that he took did not work out great for him. He slips right off the thing, smashes his knee on the way down, absolutely face plants onto the ground. Luckily, it wasn't concrete that he hit, but it was like gravel and soft rocks. It wasn't too bad. We all rush over to him. We're worried. We think he's seriously hurt himself. The kid's just laughing and gets back up, and he tries it again. So we're all laughing now. We're like, oh, what the hell? He gets back up on this beam, doesn't make it across this time. He just jumps off, and we continue on our way. The walk continues on, and we're all just doing dumb shit. We're just jumping over stuff. having these little competitions. Brian is doing the craziest stuff though. He's just climbing on everything. He tried to get on top of this outhouse and we're all just laughing at him mostly. He's just going all out. The memory of this is honestly so funny, just walking around drunk and zanned out like a bunch of morons. Some more time goes by and this is a part of the story where stuff gets a little hazy. What I remember after this certain point is just pictures and fragments of the rest of the night. The next frame that I remember, it's just me, Alex, and AJ and Derek. No sign of Brian. Derek was way in front of us. We're walking down the street. Derek was way up there. I remember thinking, why the fuck is he up there? That's all I got from that frame. Cut to the next one. And it's me, Alex, and AJ again. No Derek, no Brian. I remember being very confused at this point. We're kind of just looking around. Next frame, I wake up. I wake up upstairs in AJ's uncle's house on the floor. Don't know why the fuck I was up there, but I remember being very confused. I don't know if you guys know this, but one of the main symptoms of mixing Xanax and alcohol is memory loss. That's a big one. That explains that. So I go downstairs. I see AJ is nicely sleeping on the couch, and then Alex is on the floor beside him when there's perfectly good couches he could have slept on. I guess he did not make it there. So I wake those two up. They're also very visibly confused. They look fucked up. We're all trying to piece together what we remember from the night. Everyone's got different sort of frames and fragments that they can recollect. Then we realize that there's no sign of Brian or Derek. So we kind of freak out and we look around at the house. We're yelling their names. We're looking in every room. We're looking in closets, under beds. We're just looking wherever. So at this point, we're just like, oh, fuck, where could these kids be? We go outside. We look in the yards now, backyard, front yard. The way the front yard is, there's trees surrounding it, and then there's a walkway. So there's a gate you get in. We look in the left corner of the yard. Fucking Brian is sleeping under the trees in the far left corner. Can barely see him. We run up to him. We're like, what the hell? We wake him up. This kid just looks fucked. Like he's got a bruise on his face. His shirt is ripped. He's got that hoarse morning Xanax voice. It was just a hilarious sight to see. He gets up all confused. We start asking him what he remembers from the night, and the story that he tells us is very interesting. All he remembers is being hungry at one point and making his way to a Chevron gas station. He got his food and he asked the attendant for the bathroom key. So he saunters out with his food, sits against the wall of the gas station and just starts eating it. And after he's done eating it, he goes into the bathroom. Now he remembers going into the bathroom, locking the door, and then using it. And the next frame he remembers, he wakes up on the toilet to loud bangs on the door, like loud knocks. And then he just remembers being in the back of an ambulance. So we're guessing that the gas station employee realized he was in there for way too long, called whoever. Remember, his memory is a bit hazy at this point too, so we don't exactly know how it went down. Maybe the cops got there first, or paramedics, whoever. Either way, he ends up in the back of an ambulance and they drop him home. So the first responders just ended up getting him, probably realized the situation. Luckily, they didn't take him in. They just drove him home instead. He has a very faint memory of him convincing the paramedics that he was okay and just needed to go home. He was probably sobering up a bit to the situation. The way the kid is, he's very, even just knowing him for, that one day, I could already tell he's a smooth talker kind of type. Gets his way in and out of situations easily based on some of the stories we were hearing about him as well. So that's what happened there. He convinced him that he just needed to go home. Luckily, they dropped him home. And after that, we kind of just started laughing because that's a hilarious story. And the kid seems okay now, so it just turns into a big joke. Then we quickly realized we still don't know where Derek is. So we asked Brian, where's Derek? Was Derek with you? Like, what do you remember about Derek? And his facial expression kind of changes. And he's like, I thought, Derek's not with you guys. He's not in the house. We don't know where Derek is. We're like, no, man, we have no idea where Derek is right now. So we do one last look around the property. Then we get inside and we start trying to piece together every memory that we all have and trying to figure out if we can find any clues, see where Derek might be. His phone is just going straight to voicemail the whole time, so that's great. What we decide to do is kind of retrace our steps a bit. So we were walking around, we go get food and we're eating on the way, retracing our steps, trying to figure out where he is, looking around, looking everywhere we can. Everywhere we remember, we try to get to see where he might be. Slowly and slowly, we just start freaking out more and more because we can't find this kid, not answering his phone, don't know where he is, like anything could have happened to him. So what we do next is we call down to the station. We give the operator all of Derek's info, see if he got checked into a drunk tank or see where he could be, if he got taken in somewhere, and nothing. It's all empty for his name. And then we really start to worry. We're like, oh fuck, what should we do? Should we call his parents? Like, this is getting serious now. We don't know where he is. So we go back to his uncle's house. We're all kind of just sitting by the cars. trying to figure out our next course of action here. Now, as we're sitting by the cars, just slowly losing our shit, guess who comes sauntering down the fucking hill? Not a care in the world, big bag of A&W in his hands like nothing's wrong. It's Derek. So we start freaking out at him, we're like, what the fuck, man? You know what we just went through? We thought we lost you. You just disappear in the morning, don't tell anyone. And he's like, whoa, I'm sorry I woke up earlier than you idiots. I just wanted to go get food. Didn't want to wake you guys up. Then we kind of get mad at him. We tell him we can barely remember anything from last night, so of course we're going to freak out. Like, we were worried about him. We called the station. We almost called his parents. We asked him why he was in A&W for that long anyway. It's only a 20-minute walk. He's gone for like an hour and 30 minutes. He kind of tells us to calm down, says he wanted to eat a bit before he went and walked back because he was hungry, and he ended up falling asleep in the booth, and the employee came and woke him up and told him he couldn't sleep here, so he had to leave. Then we all calmed down a bit and start laughing about the whole situation. He tells us good thing we didn't call his parents. Told us we were maniacs to do that, never to call his parents. Other than that, it was all fine. We survived the morning. Derek's memory was very broken up too. He honestly had the least memory out of all of us. So who knows what happened with him when he wandered off. I guess we never will know, but the important thing is he made it home and he was fine in the end. We bothered Brian for so long after that. Every time we saw a chevron, it was a snap right to him. Just turned into a big joke. Anyways, this video is getting a little long now, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you guys for listening if you made it here till the end, and I will see you in the next video. Be sure to leave your stories in the comments. I would love to read them. Peace.
Yeah. Equipment fucking up and shit. We gonna let shit stop us. I'm sorry. Hit your line about a week ago. No response though. In the Maybach. Love